So, how would your life look if you learned to live with less? That is a question posed by authors and podcast host, The Minimalists. Now, I recently spoke with Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus to learn all about their theory and how to bring it into our own lives. Take a look. Joshua, Ryan, thank you so much for being with us. First and foremost, tell us all about yourselves and really what is behind minimalism. Explain that concept.
Sure. Well, we started theminimalists.com over a decade ago now, and it was really to figure out what it means to live a meaningful life with less. Now, obviously, that's less stuff as the minimalist, but also fewer obligations, less stress, less debt, less discontent in our lives. And, Ryan and I sort of grew up poor, and then we achieved the American dream in our 20s and thought that was going to make us happy, but it often did the opposite. We got all the trinkets of success, but it turns out getting everything we ever wanted wasn't actually what we wanted. And we turned to this thing called minimalism to simplify our lives.
Yeah, for me, my life was just out of control, and I really needed to reclaim my time. I needed to reclaim my finances. And when I saw Josh do this minimalist thing, I was like, maybe this thing will work for me.
I really do believe that living with intention, and I've been trying to do that more. I think also for me turning 50, you try to really think about where you are in your life and lessons you've learned, and living with intention is something that's so key. Why do you think that's the best form of preparation for whatever life is going to throw at you?
Oh, man, we see about 5,000 advertisements a day, and there's nothing particularly wrong with that. But what happens is we have all of these subconscious needs and desires that we really need a tool to help sort through, because, our impulse is to just buy whenever we have, that impulse to buy. And minimalism is something that can really help not get rid of that impulse. I wish I could sit here and say, read our books, watch our documentaries, you'll never want to buy anything again. It just doesn't work that way. But what you can do is catch yourself in that impulse and really get clear on why you want to buy the things you want to buy, and make some very deliberate decisions.
I love that. And I think you're speaking to so many of us after the last 18 months. I know that, it has been a cleansing process emotionally, but also while we were bored, we start cleaning out, getting rid of, why do we have this? Why are we keeping it? And what do you think is the cost of accumulating all of this physical stuff, all the things?
Yeah, we look at the price tag on an item, and that's certainly one price, but the actual price, the true cost of a thing, goes way beyond the price tag. There's the cost of storing the thing and taking care of the thing and worrying about the thing. The psychological, emotional, mental costs of all of our things are so overwhelming. And you mentioned the last 18 months. What's fascinating, a lot of people over the last year or so have been asking that question about essential. What is essential? Essential workers, essential travel, essential businesses. But now we've been spending a lot more time at home, and we're looking around our houses and saying, what is essential in my life? What things are essential to me, and what's getting in the way? We've got all this junk.
Right.
The average American household has 300,000 items in it.
Oh my gosh.
It'd be wonderful if it was making us happier, more content, more joyous and tranquil. But you and I know that it's doing the opposite. These things are getting in the way of our joy. And it's not about getting rid of everything. It's about figuring out what adds value to our lives and getting rid of the excess stuff so we can live with enough.
Well, I know, guys, something that I always struggle with, it's like, for instance, my mother-in-law died 4 years ago. We kept a lot of her stuff. Slowly, we are now parting with it. I think we have so many attachments to things, especially if they're somewhat sentimental. What's your advice for us to say, guys, let go of that? She would be okay with you letting go of that.
Well, the first thing I would say is, our memories are not in our things. The memories are inside of us. Now, certain things can trigger memories. And if you have an item that triggers a memory, you could even just snap a photo of it and let it go.
Yep.
But, of course, your mother-in-law, she wants you to live a meaningful, happy life. And if you would be happier and feel like you would live a more meaningful life without that, then I'm sure she would support you getting rid of that. But I'll tell you, here's one thing that I often recommend to people. Josh and I, we call it the spontaneous combustion rule. And what you do is you pick up any item in your house, anything. You pick it up and you look at it and you ask yourself, if this spontaneously combusted, how would I feel? Now, if you would feel a sense of relief, that is a sure sign that you might want to go ahead and get rid of that item. If you would be devastated and you would lose a little bit of joy, then obviously you would want to hold on to that item.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And quickly, I hate that we're out of time. I could talk to you guys all morning. You're going to be here in Atlanta, October 13th. Tell us more.
Yeah, so you can find all the details on our website, theminimalists.com, but we're going to give a talk about minimalism, what it means to live intentionally, deliberately with fewer things in our lives. We're going to do a live version of the Minimalist podcast. We're going to answer a bunch of questions as well. And we're also going to do a reading from our new book. It's called Love People, Use Things, because the opposite never works.
We can't wait to see y'all.
We can't wait to see you too. Thank you so much for your time and your insight. I so appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Take care.